Get to help and guide you through the last moments alone. I am sorry that your family and friends can't be with you right now, but don't be afraid. I am here to comfort you. You are not alone. You are with me. We will miss you after you're gone. We will miss you after you're gone.
Contact Vancouver Tower 11955. Good day. That is 2292. Contact Vancouver Tower 11955. Scanner 105, speed
Welcome to your new home. How was your flight?
It was fine.
Good. Great. All right. Come on in. Zhang Qiang King?
My name is Zhang Qingqiang.
Zhang Qing Cheng. Is that right?
Zhang Qingqiang.
Zhang Qing Cheng. Sorry. Do you maybe have an English name that you also go by?
Just Zhang Qingqiang.
Qing.
Qing.
I'm so sorry, Qing, but maybe we can come up with a Canadian name that you can use while you're here. It might be easier for everybody.
Sorry?
Many students here use Canadian names. Is there a Canadian name that you like? How about something like, I don't know, James? Would James be okay?
但是我的名字就是张庆强。
Yeah, no, sorry. Just so you know, our rule in this house is no Chinese. Sorry, it will help you learn English while you're here.
对不起，以后不会再发生了。
Biko, baka abayi meozo.
भले योनिशिमो
माफ कीजिए फिर से नहीं होएगा.
아, 죄송합니다. 다시는 안 그러겠습니다.
หนูขอโทษค่ะ หนูไม่ได้ตั้งใจ
Wow, amar ko ekbar.
माफ करना है, दोबारा नहीं होएगा.
and Libby.
Hey guys, take a look at the swear jar. We have enough for a house barbecue. Hot dogs on me.
I, a kid, you my partner in crime, your steel edge taking limbs from the trees I'd climb. You were gorgeous. I held you between my soft, childlike fingers. A promise to keep me safe, yet my bathroom floor has never felt so frigid. Mistakes and regrets pour from my open veins, the embarrassment of punishment. You got often scarring my thighs, seeing my hurt blur my vision. Your pain, the drug, haunting my happiness, feeding my hunger for death. Red behind closed eyes, shaky breaths fill the emptiness of my heart. Cold, sharp tears sting and slice my skin. Shame flows as the thoughts in my head clear. 14 years, and I finally reach peace. My cries, a repeating rhythm rolling off my tongue as I mourn the loss of a little girl. Such a sweet child who once loved dancing and fairies, who had so much love for the knife her father gifted her, the gray handle making her eyes sparkle. She's gone. She's never coming back. Nausea as I gaze upon the silver of your blade. You harmed her the most of all. No sorrow or empathy for the life you destroyed. The flower crushed underneath your hatred, left forevermore, unable to bloom.
like nursing is one of those things that 100 things could go right. You could go through your whole 12 hours without anything going wrong, or it could be that sort of situation where in the span of 3 hours I kept a man alive, put another man in a body bag, and then went and slept in a supply closet for an hour. And then when I got up from my break, the charge nurse asked me how I was feeling. We talked about it, and then I just went home. The preceptorship program at UBCO is when you're in your 4th year, your last semester, you have to do 2 different placements. It's 480 hours, so you do 240 on one unit, 240 on the other. You get paired up with a nurse and you slowly work up to a full workload, so by the end of it, you should be taking on an entire RN's workload.
But it's a lot for like a 21-year-old to go into a hospital and subject themselves to like a 12-hour shift when you're barely afloat, and then you get home at the end of the day and you realize you're paying to do this. So, yeah.
Are you a nurse or are you a student?
It is a bit of both. It's quite scary because of the staff shortages, I am left alone quite often to do assessments or medications, and some things have to be checked by actual nurses, like full registered nurses, but other things don't. And we are supposed to be looked over and monitored, but I would say half the time we probably aren't when we should be.
Are you burnt out?
Yeah, I'm definitely burnt out. I'm gonna take a break after I graduate and do some traveling. I said I would never go back to serving, but I think I'm gonna have to get a different job for a while to pretend I'm still young, because in a couple months, this will just be my life every day, so.
What does the term $8 an hour mean?
This just makes me laugh because it's so brutal for me to think about.
$8 an hour is something that my friend brought up to me. He said that based on the tuition costs that we pay, the number of hours we're in the hospital, we are essentially paying $8 every single hour that we're in the hospital. It's really hard some days knowing that I'm doing all this work and I'm putting myself through some of the most traumatizing things I've ever seen, and I'm paying the school for that when the school is basically not even involved in what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, I definitely think that because it's a female-dominated field, we're expected to perform unpaid labor. Just a sidebar, but like some patients, you know, they need to get IVs for medications or fluids, and they're like, well, I don't want the nurse to do it, I want the doctor. But like, the doctors don't put in the IVs ever. They're probably gonna miss and just end up poking you and giving you bruises. Like, it's the nurses who do all that stuff. So the frustrating thing is I think it's been like this for so long. Like, UBCO isn't the only one who doesn't pay their student nurses. I have friends in Alberta and Ontario who are experiencing the same thing. So it's not just a one-off. It also comes down to the health authority. Like, I don't think the health authority wants to pay us either. It's kind of a battle between, does the health authority pay for student nurses or does the school? And I don't think either are really willing to put away those funds.
I mean, I think there's like a natural instinct of nurses to be empathetic. I think the profession kind of calls for it. It would be strange to go and take care of people and not at least think about them a little when you go home. Mia, actually one time, I was at a game, watching a game at a bar with my friends, and she texted me, she's like, I just need to call you before I come. So I was like, okay, sure. And she's like, I just ran a really traumatic code, the guy died, my nurse told me I need to talk to someone, and she's like, you're the only one here who would understand. So while my friends were in the bar watching like Team Canada score, I was outside talking to my friend about how she just tried to save a man and wasn't successful. So like, it's not like she came to the bar after that and she was just fine. She sat there and drank a beer with her friends, but Like, how can you just forget that?
I think getting paid by either the school or the health authority would be just a big gesture to show that we are equally as valued as people like engineers and management students and like whoever else. And just, it would kind of be, sounds like, I don't know, silly, but like a step forward in the direction for like female dominated fields, because they are undervalued and underpaid. And I know, for example, like engineering students, I know someone who was getting paid $25 an hour. I don't think it needs to be that much because we do work a lot, but even just like bare minimum wage would be more acceptable than what it is right now.
No, I don't love nursing. I love parts of it. I love sending people home. That's a good feeling. I'm learning to love, this sounds really terrible, but I'm learning to love watching people die when it's peaceful. I've seen really traumatic deaths, but then I've seen people gathered, like with their family gathered around their bed, and watching them die after fighting something really tricky is really satisfying, knowing that they're at peace. But I don't love nursing as a profession, and I don't love how nurses are treated.
Beautiful. That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Why did you want to be a nurse?
Why did I want to be a nurse?
I'm just kidding, you don't have
Oh,
to.
Jesus. I was like, I thought it would be really fun. I thought I would just get to like play with cute kids or something. I don't know. I thought it was not as dirty. I didn't know I was going to be fucking wiping up punamis every day. I didn't know that I was going to have to change fucking everyone's pad every 2 hours for the rest of my life. No one can control their poo. No one can control their poo.
Oh, that's how it ends. No one.
You can never tell me how much of your life was real, tangible. Maybe you made all of it up. You thought they were memories, but maybe it was all just what you wanted to happen, what you wanted to say, who you wanted to be around. I know too well how that goes. We lifted your head from vomit-soaked concrete, and you said never again. Touch-starved and desperate, you gripped our wrists and promised. We walked into a circle of rickety chairs, and you were quietly terrified, and I, with a face of stone, hoped that this was the real never again. You don't remember it, but you clutched onto engraved metal with the certainty that you would never come back. Promised that it was a slip, not a headfirst dive into cement. Emptying bottles and pockets. That was tangible shit. Ironically, you want a glass in your hand for this conversation instead of engraved metal, a band-aid for bloody knuckles, bleach for stained bed sheets. You cried out those two words again last night, and I reappeared like you'd been calling my name. No one else was there. No one else heard. You mumble something along the lines of, "I mean it this time."
Huh?
My name's Jack Farmer and I'm the boy who climbed the beans. He said that we're super accelerated and supernatural, and they gave me something big to climb, so of course I bought them. I met this guy that my buddy knew and he gave me 3 green beans. I've been growing beans for a while now. And when Jack reached out to me, I knew he was going to do something special. And when I got home, I went straight to planting them. I knew right away, this is going to be like nothing I've ever done before. I had to start training as soon as possible. The task started to get real for him around the 60-day mark. that's when he knew it was gonna take a lot of work. I didn't think I was gonna do it. Till this day, I still can't believe I did it.
Ooh. Meow. Meow.
Can you still hear me?
I said
It feels like we're getting further apart.
maybe it's because these people bore me, honestly.
But sometimes I try. I try to reach out, I try to be nice.
And sometimes my heart bumps like a dryer with shoes in it.
And it feels heavy as fuck.
But yeah, I just don't let it get to me anymore.
Hmm? Oh, no.
Blue.
What do you see when you see me?
Even though my relationship with my daughter is difficult at times, it's because hard truths are like rubbing salt in the wound. You don't want to tell them, that it's a difficult world to navigate out there. That's why it's difficult to raise girls, especially because we have such a sense of self-doubt and lack of affirmation as to who we are in our society. I want my daughter's priority to be herself because society will tell her as a woman that that is selfish. And it's not. It's vitally important.
Did you ever worry, or did you ever have times
daily, every day, a parent worries. And here's the struggle. We're straddling worry about keeping your child safe and protected, at the same time letting them learn to fly with their own wings and be independent. I think women at times feel like huge failures. Mothers believe that they have to create these golden trophy children. The world's kind of upside down now, it's a scary place to be. So you kind of micromanage because you want to protect your child. I think you probably started dating a little too early. If I had my choices, I would have probably, put you in a cage until you were 18, but that wasn't going to happen. Mm-hmm. You had your own mind. But I think you learned pretty quickly that you weren't going to be an appendage to some guy. You were going to have your own mind and your own voice. Probably in my mid-20s, I think I finally figured it out that I shouldn't be relying on any other person's opinion of who I was as a person. That the only person that really counted was myself, what I thought about myself. I think I was with people that wanted to dictate what my life should look like, trying to match my life with theirs. Kind of made up my mind for me that that's not what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted, but I know it wasn't that. I would not like to be a young woman being raised now in this environment. I think despite everything, it was almost easier back then. Now I think women in general seem to compare themselves constantly with other women. I think so much of in our society is based on beauty instead of your self-worth from your mind and your heart and your soul.
I think a lot of that worth was based on how other people viewed me or my achievement. I don't even think I really found my voice till recently.
I think as you get older, you have an awareness that, life's complex, my mind's complex, my body's complex. And I don't think it's as reductive. As you get older, you start having a wisdom that you didn't have when you're younger. Your perspectives change. It's just not as important as it used to be. Being a woman to me is just being a human. just allowing yourself to be human, allowing yourself to fail, allowing yourself to think whatever you want to think. Just freedom. Just aging is freedom. That's what being an older woman means to me now, is it's just a sense of freedom that I didn't have when I was younger. I think when you're young, you wonder if you're good enough, and I think every young girl goes through that. But it's whether you get stuck there. I think you have turned out beautifully. You've learned how to transition to a very strong and independent woman who believes in herself, and I'm proud of you. If you ask me how motherhood has changed me, you're in constant change. You're evaluating as you go along. Am I doing this the right way? I feel like just the idea that you are graduating and, the importance of school and the importance of milestones and things that are happening. You can stand alone and be proud of who you are and your accomplishments, and it doesn't really involve another person. I see you're kind of a chip off the old block because you're very strong and independent and have your own mind, and that's where I want you to land. That's what I want for you. Even parents they dictate what you do. I want you to be happy. I don't want to pick your journey, where your destination goes. I want you to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
That's of primary importance to me.
You wanted me to be who I was. It was more than just what I looked like, and I feel proud of that because I feel like I'm coming into my own. You've helped me become who I am. What do you see when you see me?
The same way. I think it's important to know that you're going to be okay.
Does it really? Does it really? Does it really? Clothes. They smell like clothes. Clothes may smell like chicken dinner, but clothes may not smell like fart. But pants could smell like fart. Shoes are the tricky one. How they smell depends on your journey. Left shoe may smell different from your right shoe. But now, I think I should change a pair of shoes. But does it really? Everything has its own unique flavor. It is also as if they were born with the label. We're learning to recognize them with our experience. The sun is shining. The smell becomes more active under the sunlight. It's as if it's a sign that everything's coming back to life. I see trees. there are so many trees. To be precise, pine trees. Their oil emits the smell through their stems to smell like a pine tree. But does it really? Do you know pine tree smells like vanilla? If so, then why is there no pine tree flavor ice cream? This should be also very delicious. This smell is the smell of pine trees. That's a pine tree. But now, I'm not sure. Not quite sure. That is a pine tree. Does it smell like a pine tree? That's a pine tree. I'm not sure. Not quite sure. But does it smell like a pine tree though? Does it really? Maybe there's one pine tree smells like vanilla. But what I can make sure is, now my nose smells like pine tree. Instead of everything smells like pine tree to me. Not vanilla.
Along the edge of my cheekbone, I press rosewood blush into skin, for the first time leisurely to mimic the bite of wind in February. Back home, where its thrash brings everyone's bad ghosts back into their color. Blue blood hued red when nipped and frozen, vessels at the surface signaling there's still life in here. I used to blame winter for all my ugly, hide in corners until it was over. When I'm older, I'm moving somewhere with one season. Here, the first blooms already crown the western soil, my other home. The February wind is warm and slow. It moves gently past my cheeks like still air, standing. My skin unchanging, faded pigment seems ever fading, even under the early sun. I used to wish for warm air. But now that I'm here, now that the snow piles pile there while mine melt away, I'm sad that I lost my time to play outside. Inside, it's quiet at my table. The radiator breathes alongside my chest. Most days, I don't hear my voice until someone calls, my vocal cords shocked into a waking state. Otherwise, all I hear is the microwave buzz, the wires in the walls as they shake. I question my wiring, why I left everything I know behind, my fishing line cast out 4,000 kilometers across the sky. I call my mom, tell her I feel empty inside. I miss you. I wish we still moved through life with a synced stride. But when I'm back there, it's still quiet at my end of the table, with each chair seating 6 of my favorite people. As sushi on Bloor, I notice I got worse at talking while being gone. Between the evergreens and foothills, from all the walking all alone, laughter I memorized ringing in my ears like my phone, but I can't seem to get to it in time to pick up. To hang off their sentences like I did when we were young. Then I miss the moment missing, when I wasn't hesitant to take up space. The times I never have to worry if I'm matching anyone's pace. The sun tucked behind the mountains, the mackerel clouds turning pink. Since the skyscrapers on Bloor block the moon in the night, I feel like I can't see myself. I can only see blurred reflections of who I was and who I am through everyone else. I miss my solitude. But this is what I've been longing for. 6 hearts I know, so close, but not close enough. See, it's a practice to not miss the back element clicking 7 times before it ignites. The feeling of floorboards bending under my weight as I try to be quiet when I get home at night. The slanted patch of sun my window casts on my sheets. My childhood home and all the pieces of it that made me. When I wake up far away and alone and the stovetop's electric, the red element pulsing like my blushed cheeks, the floor is stable, the window facing away from me. Everything here reminds me of someone I hated, someone I miss, someone I used to be. But that leaves no space for the pieces here to add to my intricate weave. So I breathe in the stillness, my tea steaming. I acknowledge where I am, everything it gives me. I accept that this moment is more than where I wish I could be every time after I successfully leave. It's only then that I can just be.